The Bears' entire defensive back starting group is out from the beginning of the year. Yeah. Jalen Johnson's been lost forever. Gordon's now on the IR. Tyreek Stevenson, we don't know what his status will be for this week. They're going to score. The Bears are going to have to outscore these teams to win some of these.
Yeah, whether it's Jake Browning or it's Joe Flacco, I would expect that they'll find their way into the end zone, especially with the injuries in our secondary. So, look, again, you've got a ton of your resources invested on the offensive side of the football. I don't think it's asking too much. Coach, quarterback, line, receivers, tight ends, running backs, all of you. You all have to assume the greater responsibility now that your secondary is in shambles. So you be the reason why this team wins a game. They've delivered the football on a platter to you the previous 4 games, 15 takeaways in the previous 4 games.
Let's have a real conversation about Caleb, too. Like, people get very defensive when it comes to all this. We all want the same goal as Bears fans, to finally have that franchise quarterback.
Bears quarterback conversations bring that type of...
Oh, yeah. Believe me.
Very provincial behavior from fans.
It got really ugly here a couple of years ago with the whole Justin arguing, and glad for Justin. We'll play you some of the stuff that he said this weekend. He's always been a great guy. But, I think we could all have a conversation here without getting so defensive. Like, we all want the same thing. We want that first great, truly great franchise quarterback that the Bears have never had. And Caleb can still do that. But it's not good enough now. So we'll get to all that. Want to watch the film, too. We lived through the game. We watched it. We put the onus on the offense all week. We knew what the game plan was going to be. We knew that it would look like this. We knew that Baltimore, even with their backup quarterback, and Courtney was all over that. So I felt like we'd forecast this game correctly. We knew Huntley could play. We knew even with that, the Ravens were going to score, especially if these turnovers went away.
Yes.
We were wondering that. And this was going to be a game where the offense, especially the passing offense, was going to have to step up. And not only did they not step up, they stepped backwards as far as a point-scoring offense, and they've scored the least amount of points they scored all of this year.
Who are you when the defense doesn't deodorize the situation with taking the ball away 4 times? So that was a question. Who are you going to be when some of these Sundays don't include 4 takeaways? And I think, unfortunately, they defined themselves a little bit yesterday. Offensively, they weren't up to the challenge. As you described, you kind of knew that at some point this offense is going to have to be leaned on to deliver. And at some point, the quarterback is going to have to be a win because of quarterback as opposed to a win with quarterback. So still some things to get after, that's for sure.
Yeah, so as soon as Ben starts speaking, we will go right out to Hallis Hall, and he'll do this press conference, as I mentioned, virtually. And, yeah, it's going to be a great week for us. We're hoping to get to Hallis Hall one day this week. We will be leaving our show for Cincinnati on Thursday evening. We will be broadcasting from Cincy on Friday.
That's a win all in itself.
Yes,
going to Cincinnati, that's a W just in itself. It's
the Waddle homecoming party for this weekend. I can't wait to see all the sites that you have spoken about. Like, I don't remember the last time I was in Cincy. I think it was when I was still covering the Bears and that stadium first opened. But I went there as a kid, then I went back to cover a game, and those were like the 2 times I've been to Cincinnati, Ohio.
I've been back like once a year for the last 15 years, so you've probably seen almost as much as me. But, yeah, I'm
that's
to
pretty
go back.
good. Once a year is good, like when you don't live there anymore.
I go back every December to hang out with my high school friends. We have a lunch. We developed a scholarship for one of the kids that goes to Moeller High School. And we have a luncheon that celebrates it, and we get an opportunity to hang out with each other. So it's fun.
Yeah. So if you want to get in line now, there are no calls on the screen. So now is your time to get through. We'll try and cycle through as many calls. It's always about you, the fan, have your voice heard. The good news is, guys, this is only 1 loss in the last 5 games. Now they've got to keep it to that. They can't spiral like they did last year, and I don't think any sort of a long losing streak will happen. But we went in, I think the goal for both of us, at least I vocalized it for me, was win 2 out of these next 3. That this was more of a vibes game. If you could win 5 in a row, that would be great for the vibes. If you would lose this game, fine. You still have a chance to go and beat a team with a backup quarterback in Cincy and then beat a Giants team at home. And of those 3 games that we were looking at, if you could take 2 out of 3, the Bears will be what, 6-3 then?
Yes.
So
if they win the next 2, they will be 6-3.
So the good news is
still out there in front of you.
Like, we're just talking about 1 loss. We're talking about 1 loss after a 4-game win streak. We're talking about possibilities of winning ahead. But they have got to clean this stuff up.
Unfortunately, we're also talking about a team that commits 9 penalties per game, is disastrously inefficient in the red zone right now, and has a couple of other issues as well. So, you trust that this coaching staff will have them prepared and ready to play. In Cincinnati, Joe Flacco has really given that offense a boost, but he's dealing with a shoulder injury himself now. So, if you can't get your offense right against this Cincinnati defense, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, because you're going to have to score again.
Yes.
Even like whether it's with Flacco or even if they bring what's his name, the former backup quarterback. What was the guy's name who they replaced in Cincinnati?
Browning.
Yeah. So if Browning, I still think they're going to score on you. The Bears' entire defensive back starting group is out from the beginning of the year. Yeah. Jalen Johnson's been lost forever. Gordon's now on the IR. Tyreek Stevenson, we don't know what his status will be for this week. They're going to score. The Bears are going to have to outscore these teams to win some of these.
Yeah, whether it's Jake Browning or it's Joe Flacco, I would expect that they'll find their way into the end zone, especially with the injuries in our secondary. So, look, again, you've got a ton of your resources invested on the offensive side of the football. I don't think it's asking too much. Coach, quarterback, line, receivers, tight ends, running backs, all of you. You all have to assume the greater responsibility now that your secondary is in shambles. So you be the reason why this team wins a game. They've delivered the football on a platter to you the previous 4 games. 15 takeaways in the previous 4 games.
Pick them up, for goodness sake, right? Isn't that the essence of complimentary football?
Yes.
Like, I know, like the field position game, the game within the game, but isn't also part of complimentary football then when the defense then needs a little help and they've given you all they can give you and they're banged up to score offensively?
I think we talked about this heading into the Dallas Cowboy game, knowing that they had some defensive issues and they were facing a high-powered Cowboys defense. It was an opportunity for this Bears offense to say, hey, guess what? We got this. We'll be the reason why we win this one. You get healthy, do the best you can, but we'll be the ones that carry the heavy load here. So,
and they did.
They did.
That was Caleb's best game.
This is another situation where they should take on that responsibility of being the reason why you come out of Cincinnati with a W. I mean, it's simple. At least it sounds simple. I mean, the execution part of it's not so simple, but yeah, this is an offense that needs to lead the way every now and again. That's why you spent, $60 million guaranteed on your center guard. That's why you drafted a tight end 10th. That's why you drafted another receiver with a 39th pick. You gave Ben $12 or $13 million. Come on now. The offense should be leading the way. Not a defense that is taking the ball away at a record pace. That's not what we thought that this team was going to be, the foundation was going to be for them. So it's now time for this offense to get themselves pointed in the right direction.
And you mentioned the penalties. Ben Johnson, at least in his conversation with Jeff Joniak, and we'll hear what he says here on the in the press conference. But he told them, he goes, look, this is going to be on, I'm going to have a meeting with the players, an all-team meeting, and they have to take it upon themselves to get this right. There were a couple of stats that I tweeted out earlier in the day. The Bears have the most penalties through 7 games, for the most since 1985. And don't make a mistake, this is not the 85 Bears either.
In their franchise history?
Yeah, this is the most in the last 40 years. The thing that sticks out with me, I think it does with Waddle as well, is what he said about the interception. And Caleb doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, but this is what has me worried. And I want Caleb Williams to be a star quarterback as much as any Bears fan out there. This was Caleb Williams' answer when he was asked about the interception after the game.
It was a good read. Rome man-to-man with the guy that caught the pick, and I just didn't give a good ball to Rome.
And then if you heard Ben Johnson said it wasn't a good read. He needed to check it down to Kyle Monangai in that situation. So my problem is that we want Caleb to make these correct decisions in real time while the play is being made. After the game, with time to think about it, he still didn't have his decision-making correct. He still was adamant that he made the right read. If he still doesn't know at the press conference that he's making the wrong read, isn't it frustrating to everybody? And doesn't it make you wonder, is he ever going to be truly on point with his decision-making? I've heard someone, and Carmen poo-pooed this, I've heard a few people say he's got a lot of the same problems as Justin. He is far from the same type of quarterback as Justin. But I do agree that the processing of it all is similar to Justin. There are times he misses open guys. There are times he doesn't see the correct place he should go. And if he's standing up at the press conference after the game, still thinking during an interception that he made the right read, how are we going to expect him to make the right read in real time?
Well, I would add to that, like there was a play also from the Saints game that certain coverages will dictate where the ball should go and what you should be doing with the play. And the interception that he throws, first of all, you have to acknowledge you're throwing from your own end zone. So the last thing you want to do is try to make a hero throw. Okay, so you have to measure the risk versus the reward just based on where you're at. I believe at that point they were only down 3. You're in the trail position. The last thing you can do is make a risky decision and turn the ball over. As soon as Humphrey kind of feathers back and he sees that the flat is open, why on earth would you think the right place to throw the ball is into a tight window where he's fortunate that Rome didn't get hurt as well. Marlon Humphrey made a veteran move and pulled off of him. Could have killed him. So the throw itself was the wrong read. What's going through your mind is the question I would ask, not only during that moment, but when you met the media afterwards and you're still sticking to your, to your line of thinking that this was the right read. No, I'm throwing from my end zone. I see a coverage or I see a cornerback react in a certain way that I know is going to leave the flat open. So that's the route I'm going to take. It's a sure 7 to 10 yard gain, and I'm going to take the risk out of the play. I mean, when you see the reaction of the corner and when he drops back, he's looking to his right, it should dictate where the ball is ultimately going to go. There was a play in the red zone against the Saints where Ben drew up a beautiful play and he used motion to dictate the coverage and change it from a 2 deep to a 1 deep, and he got exactly what he was looking for, and Caleb was staring at it. And it should have been this quick post bang 8 right on top of the strong safety who settles his feet. And he's staring at it, but he doesn't throw it. So the point I'm kind of making is that these are the types of plays that leave me more dissatisfied than when he misses an open receiver, because it tells me that he's either not trusting what he's seeing or maybe at times doesn't know what he's looking at.
Yes, and that's the worrisome. And look, we shouldn't. Someone tweeted me too. There's a ton of tweets, one side or the other. We're getting into this again. Like simply asking questions about, hey, is this happening? Should we be concerned? Like I go by the common sense of if I'm starting to wonder, then it's there. Like I want him to work. But I don't want to just be one of these guys like some Bears fans are who are always defending even when they know. Like there's still Bears fans who defend Justin. We know Justin can't play. Nice kid, we know he can't play. There are just people who want to be loyal because they're super loyal. And with me, I just want finally to get the quarterback right, to get the cream of the crop out of the class and to have a true star quarterback. And again, I shouldn't have to say this, but I will one more time. We want it to happen. We still hope it could happen. But I still think these are alarm bells, or just wondering, why is it going on for Drake May? He had a terrible rookie year with a bad coaching staff who they checked out and now is in a new system, and he's third in the odds in MVP. Jaden Daniels last year finished 7th in MVP voting. We can't score more than 16 points against one of the worst defenses in the NFL. There's time, lots of time. I get it. But simply to, like, I asked the poll question today, like people are going at it. Some people are saying, this is an absurd question. I'm asking, did the Bears make the wrong choice at quarterback in the 2024 NFL draft? And I gave 3 options. It's not just a yes and no. Because like we always like to say on this show, there's nuance. There's yes, there's no, and it's too early to know. It's too early.
Looks like it isn't one of the options.
What's that?
I said, it looks like it is not one of the options. No? Okay. I would vote it's too early to tell. I mean, with a lean towards, look, the kid in New England's playing his ass off. I mean, everything that he's doing it looks and speaks to this is not a fluke. I mean, that you can live and you'll grow with him. I did not think this was Caleb's worst game. So I agree with the coaching staff and everybody else that there were things in the game where you look at and go, yeah, it's a really good throw. That's a good, 2 or 3, sharp crossers that were really good. He hit the honey hole a couple of times. There's a couple of things. I mean, his completion percentage went up. He was almost 66%. He wasn't dirtying wide receiver screens. He didn't get a ball tipped, I don't think, all day. There were some good throws in this game. There really were. It's just not good enough, especially when you need that quarterback at this point at times to maybe carry you because your defense isn't going to get 4 takeaways every Sunday. So I didn't think it was disastrous. I mean, I thought the interception was those are the things that leave me a little bit, Why did you think that the right thing to do with the coverage you saw was to try to make a hero throw when you're in your own end zone and your running back is wide open 5 to 7 yards from you? What is the process? What's going through your brain? So I get more, I get more itchy and scratchy about those things than I do when I see him miss wide open throws.
And so far the results of this, and I want to address more of it, because I think if you're like, someone said this is an absurd question. If you're thinking that a simple poll question on a silly app like Twitter is absurd, then maybe you just don't want it to creep in your mind. You're in denial. That's what I'm saying. If you think any question about a quarterback still who is not completing 65% of his passes, who still isn't living up to the number 1 overall billing.
He's still dead last in expected completion
percentage. And I'm not down
at
him. I'm just saying I think everything's fair to ask, to have a discussion, to talk down to people and to say a question is absurd. When we all want the same thing, guys. 34.7% of the people say, yes, the Bears got it wrong. 41% of the people say it's too early to know. 24.3% of the people say, no, they didn't get it wrong.
You're going to get the he is him crowd after you.
Like that was the Justin phrase, wasn't it?
Yes.
He is him. He's him, Silvy.
He was him yesterday in Cincinnati.
You wait till I call. Who threw the game-winning touchdown?
I think it was the running back.
It was Breece Hall, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, but the kid played really well yesterday.
Yeah, he played back. He's still not a quarterback.
I'm not looking to bring him back. I'm just saying he played well yesterday.